one of the most mysterious faces of The Walking Dead, a character who appeared quickly and did something completely out of the ordinary, an act of extreme kindness that after everything was not a trap, unlike most of the things that we've seen on The Walking Dead. Yeah, I'm talking about Georgie, a very important leader who apparently was the leader of a large community and who is simply a gigantic mystery on The Walking Dead story. She only appeared once, and since then there has been no further explanation in the main show. What happened to her after her appearance on The Walking Dead? What is this group? Which group is she from? Yeah, I will explain this in this video. I will explain everything about this mysterious character from the show, and if you wanna know, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead universe again. And now let's explain a very important question about a mysterious character, a character who disappeared from the show, appeared just one time, it was mentioned in other seasons, we have some information about her, but her death was not confirmed, many people still asking what happened to her. Let's explain, but first don't forget to check the like in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion, and also if you like more contents about The Walking Dead, don't forget to subscribe here, and also if you like some contents about The Last of Us, the show that is close to return, I will make some videos, some reviews, some curiosities here, but there we go. Yeah, here's the thing, if there's one thing that we are tired of knowing about The Walking Dead, that we have too much of, it's a vast list of characters, not only from the main show, but from all these spin-offs, characters who didn't come back, just disappeared, only appeared at a specific moment and got lost. If you like, I will make some video about these disappeared characters, all the most important disappeared characters from the show, just write in the comments if you want, but we have so much characters in this condition. As much as many of these did not influence the main plot, they had a very great potential for something extra. And this character that I want to talk about in this video is Georgie. She's one of those beings from The Walking Dead who had the potential because she is very different. Precisely, we are talking here in this video about the episode 12 of the season 8. Well, this episode is called The Key, which is at the apex of the war against Negan. Basically, the situation we have here is the group in need of supplies. They are there at Hilltop trying to find a way to survive these conditions, trying to find a way to go against Negan, and the main leader there obviously is Maggie. She was the main leader of Hilltop. And then in the middle of a mission that Rick was trying to do in order to try to set a trap on top of Negan, catch Negan, he's trying to do everything to be able to beat this guy. In the middle of this, we have a situation at Hilltop. Some group left some mysterious boxes full of supplies outside the Hilltop, and it's about to be traded. A completely mysterious and suspicious exchange. Even more so at the apex of a war against Negan's group, which they know very well. Several years have passed in this outbreak, which no one does kindness for free. It is usually a trap in a situation like this. And that's mainly what makes Maggie suspicious of everything, because it's proposal basically to exchange these supplies there for something that people don't usually use in these outbreaks, which is music records. In exchange for that, the business is very strange indeed. In the other side, in the middle of the conversation there, they are deciding what they will do. Michonne is the person who has faith in the goodness of these people, believes that there can be some kindness, and she is the main person to convince first Rosita there along with her. Like, Maggie doesn't agree to make this exchange, but Michonne wants to, and then she convinces Rosita, which also leads Maggie in this situation to end going up, having no choice, her going along with Enid. They were against it, and then we come to the great moment of presentation of this mysterious group that helps. They set up a meeting point in the forest, they arrive very cautiously, in this case Enid, Maggie, Michonne putting Rosita out to surprise if necessary, and they come across this situation. A van there that arrives with two women there, led by this other well-groomed woman, totally presentive, a beautiful look, she's clean, with a beautiful speech that brings even more suspicious all this goodness. Even recently, 2025, people who watch it is suspected to this day in the Walking Dead universe. Usually in this universe, these groups that arrive with kindness are not very good groups, so we believe that it's not possible that there it's all beautiful, nice, there's no problem there. Well, in this case, this woman introduced herself as Georgie and his two companions, Hilda and Mitch, and without delay, Rosita arrives surprising, and it goes there and they start collecting the weapons for safety. We have to remember that we are in a situation at the moment when the group cannot risk more than it already is. There's already a lack of food, it's already in a war against Negan, everything is bad. And here it comes. Amid the pressure of having guns drawn, Georgie proves himself, has posture, and continues with her speech. She says that she hasn't found any community like them in a long time, that she just goes out helping people but also wants things in return. It seems to be very much a group that has a lot of supplies, and they want some articles of entertainment that people normally do not trade in this apocalypse. For example, music records, which is what she wants from Maggie and Hilltop in exchange of the supplies. It's very different, it's so strange, and precisely, Michonne doesn't manifest herself much in this situation. Kind of the leadership of the situation is Maggie, who doesn't give in to the conversation or even fear and ends up proposing to go with Georgie to the hilltop, to take this woman with this van and these other two who are accompanying her there to be able to interrogate and make this decision. For safety too. Don't stay in the middle of the forest because it's also going to be a trap. A lot of possibilities. And it is right there at Hilltop that we have a decision between goodness and trickery. In one side we have Michonne wanting to do this negotiation, believing that they are good, and in the other side there's Enid and Maggie, who just don't want to believe it, don't want to risk it, and prefer to steal Georgie and all the other supplies she has. Like, don't make a trade or anything, that they are not in a position to do that. They don't want to risk it. Go there, steal everything they have, take everything and keep it. Like something very wrong according to the principles of Rick's group, which has done some things like this before, but they want to maintain humanity. Civility, at least a little bit, despite being in a war against Negan. Michonne is the person who wants to do what is right and has a hard time convincing Dan to do what is right, although every situation is directed towards her achieving this. It starts to get favorable. The fact that they are in the house, in a good community of several good things, kind of give some influence on Maggie's mind to try to take a good attitude. We have this scene where she watches what they did, the kids being taken care of, Judith there and the baby Gracie next door, who they had rescued from the threat against the saviors, and she watches all of that and kind of motivates Maggie to believe and say, oh, let's take an attitude of faith there, let's see what happens. And the positive point is that this time faith does not seem to become a problem. They meet there with the woman, decide to deliver the records of the proposal they wanted, take only the supplies she had offered right away, and she has an idea of making more deals and other things. And impressively, Georgie at this moment proves to be an even kinder person than she already was. And that's what's very interesting about this character. Here, when she realized that Maggie made the right decision to hand over things and not steal from her, at that moment, and probably being a leader who knows a lot, she was already observing what the situation was leading to, the possibility of Maggie just wanting to steal from Dan. And Maggie does the right thing. Georgie then at this moment says, oh, I'm going to reduce. So my proposal, you don't need to give me several boxes with several records. You take everything I have, I give you even more supplies, and then we make a new negotiations. Like, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's perfect, it's so different. This kind of hers surprises Maggie, makes her kind of indignant about the situation, such kindness. At the same time, for the story, it's kind of fate, you know, telling her and the group that they need to do good things, don't keep hitting others, that it will work out, that's it. Georgie told Maggie a lesson, but then we are close to the point about after, what happened to her. There's one more point that before Georgie leaves, she leaves something there with Maggie that ended up in the future helping all the communities. From the hilltop to Alexandria, she probably helped with something new in the Commonwealth later in the future. She left with Maggie a little book that she made several copies called The Key to the Future, which basically there, Georgie put a lot of instructions, pictures, and a lot of things from how to build a sustainable community, teaching how to build mills, silos, many things that over the years ended up doing in the communities, like Alexandria. Alexandria Mill itself, that appeared for the first time in season 9, it ended up being built based on the guidelines of this Georgie manual. Did you know that? It's a very important curiosity. There's other buildings too. Several development points there in Hilltop, Alexandria, as you can see in the photo here. The rebuilding of the church after the attack of Negan. Everything they did that was sustainable in these groups was because of Georgie. But yeah, in this episode she disappeared. She basically vanished. In fact, the actress only filmed for The Walking Dead just one time. In this episode we never saw her again, but we found out about about her later? This is the question for us to bring what really happened. Like, Georgie appears in the season 8, and if we talk about the next season, season 9, basically in the episode 7, which is the moment that we are still being set for how the characters are after the great time jump of 60 years we had. For those who don't remember, in the episode 5, after Rick left the show, we have the time jump. Several years pass, and during these years, one of the main points that happened was also Maggie's departure. In this episode, we learned that Maggie left Hilltop with her son Herschel, left Jesus to take care of this community. Yes, it was a time jump just before Jesus died. Well, but the reason Maggie left Hilltop is the explanation related to Georgie. Basically here, we are led to understand that this relationship with this character, with this mysterious group of hers, prospered. Apparently, Georgie was returning to Hilltop to make new negotiations and other points for years, scenes that were not shown on The Walking Dead. It's only hints at that, until a moment came when her relationship with Maggie was already very close, and she kind of ended up inviting Maggie to help her with other purpose, which would be to find new communities and evolve new communities. She needed this help from Maggie. Maggie wanted to get away from everything that was going on in the group. So basically the story tells us that she decided to go. She picked up her boy Herschel, who had been born. He was already a little grown up there. He was starting to do some things by himself, and they went. And one of the points that also influenced her is that Negan, instead of being killed at the end of season 8, Rick decided to arrest him. So she doesn't have to live with Negan, doesn't have to be close to where Negan was. This also helped her. This invitation to go farther, it's a little distant, help her son growth and everything else. And then in the sequence, after some episodes and some seasons, we had the return of Maggie with more explanations and reference to Georgie herself. Yeah, it didn't stop. Maggie returns to the group in the episode 16 in the season 10 alongside her son to help the guys after the Whisperers attack that destroyed a lot of things. And in this return of hers in the episode 17, which was the first of the extras in the season 10, there we have a battle against the first member of the Reapers group who appears in the show, and she tells the connection of this with this past of hers. That moment she stayed there far away with Georgie and ended up separating. In a scene from the episode, Maggie says that she had gone out with Georgie and was helping her in the community, and precisely Georgie, the character, decided to leave so that she could go alone there. Probably with the two twins who were together there in this season 8. She mentions that Georgie went towards a city that is in the west. At the time we thought it was a reference that Georgie ended up in the Commonwealth, but when she arrived in the Commonwealth, we didn't see her anymore. Yeah, Maggie in this scene also says that after Georgie left, she was taking care of the community there, which later in season 11, we ended up discovering that it was the community there called Meridian, which is the base of the Reapers in season 11. And you can ask, why? Why is it the base of the Reapers? Because while Maggie was taking care of it, this group ended up arriving, attacking the community, and taking it from them. And that's when Maggie left with her group, ran away with a few, and joined the people of The Walking Dead, or survivors, the main characters that we know. That's the moment she came back in the season 11. And then later in the last season, we get to know more about the Reapers, their leader. We have this that happens. Well, from then on, that was another story, but the part about Georgie going to the west was the last information we had about her. So in general, yeah, it's confirmed. She stayed alive, she went towards other points, other communities. So yeah, she can appear again in the universe of The Walking Dead in other show, but the question is where and when. Like, there's a possibility, for example, that she will appear in the plot of The Walking Dead Dead City. We saw Maggie and Negan spin-off trying to rescue Herschel in the first season. In the next month, we will have the release of the second season, and probably there will be more. So there will still be a story to tell, and they are waiting to tell more stories about Georgie. To put Georgie in this story, maybe in the end of second season or in the third season, like a theory that comes to my mind, it's about the first season. Negan in the story tells about his wife, which is Annie, and the son he had, which is Joshua. They ended up being sent by a train to another state far away for safety. He no longer has contact with them. You can imagine if they ended up coming back together with Georgie herself, she found them and will help, or even it fulfills The Walking Dead's destiny. We can also make a theory that in fact after those years appears, she will come back as an enemy, as a villain. It will be an amazing thing. And even we can talk about the next season of Tales of the Walking Dead, which Scott Gimple recently confirmed they are trying to make more things about it. He confirmed there will be more episodes in the future. I think an episode about Georgie would be more interesting than several episodes that they brought in the first season. If they ended up choosing to bring an episode about Georgie, they can make an episode about her, telling what her group is in fact, what her story is like before meeting the characters. Before the season 8 there, she helps Maggie, and what the story is like afterwards. Yeah, we still have a lot of lost opportunities in this universe of The Walking Dead that we don't know what happened. I don't know why they don't tell about it, but it's there. Go write in the comments what you think. Which of these two ways do you think Georgie can appear again? That City or Tales of the Walking Dead? Which one would be more interesting for you? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything about this universe of The Walking Dead and many other shows that we will make more videos. Don't forget to check the like here, it helps me a lot with the promotion. Thank you for your patience with my English. I have to say it in all my videos because of the newcomers. It's not my native language, but I'm trying to practice more and more. Thank you for watching this video, I'll be back soon, and bye!